Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am way behind today. I've been on the phone, I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Now, one thing I was doing is linked to who is one of my sponsors. I was looking at their the list of the freaking private equity they've got. When I started talking about them, they had like one or two companies on their platform, as I recall. Look at this. Astera Labs, Quantum Space, Ripple, Axiom Space, Cerebras, Uphold, Chainalysis, Glint, Spark Cognition, Circle, Events, Zipline, Light Matter, Discord, H2O.ai, PsiQuantum, Sambanova Systems, Impossible Foods, SnapLogic, Data Miner, Link2, Brex, TAE Technologies, Alto Pharmacy, Astranus Space, iTrustCapital, Tanium, Big ID, Copper, Ledger, Epic Games, DriveWell, Acorns, ASAP, M1 Finance, Alchemy, Dune Analytics, Dapper Labs, CityBlock, I'm Getting Tired, Rippling, CityBlock, Alloy, Carbon, Block Damon, Motive, BitPay. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's PolySign. Wow. Unbelievable. Just a ton of companies. They're in all kinds of, and if you look here, you can filter by vertical. It's all kinds of AI, 3D printing, aerospace, and digital assets, fintech. They got it all. Gaming is on there. Check this out. XRP Las Vegas, 134 days left. I have a link in the top of the description to both this to get, if you want to get a ticket to XRP Las Vegas. If you're in my member group, daixrp.com, you can get a discount, $25 discount on it. And also, I want to remind everybody, this is who they've got so far: is Eleanor Terrett, Chris Giancarlo, Jeremy Hogan, Nancy Beaton, Robin O'Connell from Uphold. There's Ray Fuentes, Perry and Boring Chamber Digital Commerce. They're going to have Ripple there as well. Don't know to what extent. But what I do know is that Brad Garlinghouse liked Brad Combs' tweet about XRP Las Vegas. And I also know that while they're in Vegas, futureofdigitalassets.com, this is the benefit dinner that's going to be held by the Chamber of Digital Commerce. And they're going to have Brad Garlinghouse, John Deaton, Michael Arrington, Chris Giancarlo. I will be there too. Not to speak or anything, but I'll be there. Now look at this. Brad Garlinghouse is retweeting Stuart Alderati. Ripple's heading into 2024 with a compliance-first mindset, as we've always done. Now, this is a great tweet from Yasin Mubarak. He's retweeting the thing about Ripple being added to the Central Bank of Ireland's list of registered virtual asset service providers. Yasin Mubarak is directly over the target quite often. We're talking about the Central Bank of Ireland, folks. This is in addition to the Monetary Authority of Singapore and Dubai's Financial Authority. Ripple and XRP are crossing the chasm towards mainstream adoption. The U.S. will be the last domino to fall, but fall it will. Take it to the bank. Now, folks, I showed it to you in the last video, and it's worth showing to you again. Look at this. This Monica Long prediction, let's go over it again. I think it is pretty, which one is it? There's David Schwartz, but I didn't even know he had done them yet. I'll do that in tomorrow's video. Don't underestimate what's being said here, folks. In 2024, crypto will break the speculative hype cycles that have defined the booms and busts for the industry since Bitcoin's invention. Before the next crypto summer, we as an industry will break the cycle by paving the foundation for real-world utility at scale. Now, do you know what that says to me when I hear that, folks? What that says to me is, because keep in mind, Monica Long is saying this against the backdrop of the fact that the speculative cycle we're in will include Bitcoin ETFs. So she's saying against that backdrop, utility at scale is going to be even bigger. That's what I hear. She didn't come out and say that. But isn't that why we've all been here? The XRP thing is because as real utility, Bitcoin's never had utility. They're having to create ETFs to give it an investment utility. I mean, the real utility is going to be the real deal, folks. Now, Cody Carbone, he's Digital Chamber of Commerce. 19 senators support a bill led by Senator Warren. And Roger, let's keep naming names, Dr. Roger Marshall needs to be voted out of office, Kansas, senator from Kansas, to ban crypto and end consumer choice. Sign our pledge. They've got a pledge here that you can sign it. It's at change.org. And here's Perry Ann Boring from the Chamber of Digital Commerce.
Senator Elizabeth Warren has introduced bipartisan legislation that would ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the United States. We cannot underestimate her efforts. They've already gained the support from almost 20% of the U.S. Senate. Senator Warren claims that the bill's purpose is to strengthen the anti-money laundering requirements for cryptocurrencies. However, the bill...
By the way, what I think it's really about is, I think that what she's really trying to do is get everyone, to force everyone out of their self-custody so that they have to put it with the banks and with, you know, with the JP Morgans or, you know, the Wall Street guys or the banks. I personally want to do that anyway, because I want to do it the same way I do with my stocks. I'm not going to always do self-custody. But I believe everybody should have a right to do self-custody, because I don't see this. Well, anyway, I'll get in more into that.
Does not demonstrate a technical understanding or knowledge of how digital assets actually work. This legislation is nothing less than an effort to kill cryptocurrencies in the US, and it's a part of her larger agenda to pave the way for a central bank digital currency. So why is the United States Senate trying to ban cryptocurrencies?
Again, I think that this is a light touch.
This is Senator Roger Marshall. He is the lead Republican sponsor of the bill, who at a private event admits that the bill was crafted by the American Bankers Association.
The first thing we did is we went to the American Bank Association and said, help us craft this. We want crypto to be held up at the same standard as you are. That's about all I know about crypto. Okay.
This is the same industry who spends up to $100 million a year lobbying Washington. Bankers like Jamie Dimon.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the
Is that why you were helping out with Ethereum before the mainnet launch?
use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to talk about.
While Jamie Dimon is testifying in front of Congress in favor of Elizabeth Warren's...
Let's be clear, folks. They're not talking about closing. They're talking about closing the tokens down. And they're talking about what they want to do, what Jamie Dimon and all his friends want to do. I think they allowed all this to be tested, because what they want to do is custody and hold and have their customers have the tokenized assets. That's what this has all been about, folks, is the tokenization of real world assets.
That would ban Bitcoin. His company is operating its own blockchain network that does over $1 billion a day in transactions. This is yet another example of the regulatory capture that is far too common in Washington, D.C. It is critical that the United States leads in the deployment of advanced technologies, including cryptocurrencies, and does not get caught in the churn of Washington's special interest groups. Make your voice heard today. Don't let Congress ban crypto.
All right, Perry Ann Boring is doing her best to get the word out. Now, this is interesting right here. You remember was put out by Wheezy in the last couple of days. While Mike Novogratz was busy purchasing Ethereum from Vitalik Buterin and trying to make deals with Joseph Lubin and Consensus, he was also serving as an advisor on the Investor Advisory Committee on Financial Markets for the New York Fed, along with some interesting names relevant in crypto today. Some of these names also have ties to the guy on the island, right? And this Mike Novogratz was here, Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Now, I'm going to make a point here because Jimmy Valley retweeted it. And that's infamous Jimmy Valley. The Jimmy Valley who had the nerve to try to create a valuation, his own valuation for XRP. What he and Molly Elmore and some others decided that they thought some different valuation models of what they thought XRP would be worth. Apparently they didn't know that they were not allowed to do that since they were not Susan Athey or Robbie Mitchnick. Apparently those are the only two people who are allowed to come up with their opinion on a valuation, I guess. But that's the way it was. But Jimmy says, imagine that. Who could have thought it was the Federal Reserve behind this whole time? And then I saw this, and here's what the Elizabeth Warren thing, the idea of her trying to keep you from being able to self-custody your crypto reminds me of, is this. Executive Order 6102. Anyone remember the 1933 Gold Confiscation Act? Required all persons to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933, all but a small amount of gold coin, gold bullion, gold certificates owned by them to the Federal Reserve in exchange for $20.67. So the question I have is, this self-custody thing, is that really, instead of confiscating our crypto, is it really about them saying, look, by such and such date, once this law passes, you're going to have to put your crypto with approved whatever, JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs or whoever? Is that what this really is about? Because here it is. Make no mistake, the bill that Senator Elizabeth Warren has introduced in the Senate and continues to gather momentum would be a de facto ban on self-custody. Is this what it's really about? I think that people should be allowed to custody their own crypto personally. Now, I've gotten to where I can see around corners in this space, folks, and let me tell you what, I can see around corners. And this will be the second time that I've seen the same group of people. They did it back when FTX was in existence. The same group of people, they're all the usual suspects. The same group of people that kept talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin for all these years, especially Ethereum. Same group of people, when FTX came out of nowhere, I had never even heard of it. And all of a sudden Tom Brady's doing advertisements. At the same time, that same core group of people started talking about Solana and trying to drive the price. And I think FTX was involved in that too. Now, we see the Ethereum farce, in my opinion, being exposed. And now all those same people are starting to talk a lot about Solana and try to really get the Solana price going. Go figure. So in DAIXRP.com today, we're going to continue down that road. We're going to go back. We're going to go through some more of what Stephen Narioff said on John Deaton's show yesterday. We're going to go further down that dark rabbit hole, and I do mean dark. I think there's some real bad guys behind all that, folks. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. DAIXRP.com is where we go into the danger zone.